Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layout, and we have finally made it. It is part 4 of the Great Scrapbook Room reset of November 2024. In this video, I am doing a room tour, and I can't wait to show you guys. If you have not seen the previous 3 videos, I will link the playlist here for you guys so that you can check it out. So let's get into it. Alright guys, let's check out this transformation. I am so very pleased with my new scrapbook room. So let's start where we did before with behind the door. This shoe rack is probably my favorite thing to hold items that I don't use on a regular basis. It's pretty much hidden because it is behind the door and it gives me easy access. Plus, it's pretty inexpensive. So let's take a look at what I decided to keep. So the top row holds my heat gun, my fuse tool, the sanding paper, and then my various bottles like my distress refresher. There's also some alcohol blending solution and some other items down below as well. These foam adhesives were on my desk, and these are the extra ones. I still have one sheet on my desk, and I'll just come replace it when I am done with that sheet. And then I have all of my extra glue bottles. When I was doing my room reset, the biggest thing that I noticed was I had glue in multiple places all over the room. So now they are all contained in one section. The next row also has adhesive, my extra sets of Xyron cartridges, as well as the double-sided adhesive rolls that I pick up from Scrapbook.com. I usually tend to purchase these in bulk. These 3 pockets here hold light bulbs. These used to be over on the white bookshelf. Now they are over here, out of the way, and freed up space on my bookshelf. I purchased these containers in trying to decide which container that I wanted for my tiny hearts and stars. I did end up liking this really tiny one the most, but I do have extras, so I'm sure I will find reasons and ways to use these. I still have my magnets. This goes to my cup holder. It is trash bags and then the holder for the trash bags. I have these cameras. They were also over on the white bookshelf. I would like to get them developed, but it's for another day. Some more adhesive like my red line tape and extra ATG. This was over in my closet and now it takes up less space here. And the bottom row has my hot glue guns as well as items used for my hot glue gun. And then those stamps that I told you guys about in my first video. I did decide to keep that bag there that has all of my pocket page protectors. My door doesn't stay open, so it's kind of like a doorstop for me. I love the new desk that I set up. While I didn't make any major changes to it, I didn't buy new furniture, I just made a couple of changes, and I feel like those changes were pretty significant. So let's check out these 4 cubes and see what's in them now. The biggest change is I moved this cube and this cube. I switched them around so that it was more easily accessible to the items that I need to reach for. When this cube was next to me, it was nice to just be able to stick my hand in and grab things out and throw things in. But I noticed that I was often pulling these shelves out to get to items in the back. So that was the main reason that I switched it for the drawers. Now I have 2 clean shelves, and then in the top here is my silhouette mats. And then down here is some content that I created for a class that I was an instructor for at a crop that I attended several years ago. I still have several class kits left. I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. This section of my desk is usually covered by the legs of my studio lights, so it's not very easily accessible. If you remember, the bottom drawers were full of just stuff, and I took care of most of it. My bottom drawer does still contain the page protectors in the 6x8 size, as well as these Tim Holtz page protectors that I often use in my albums for smaller memorabilia. This drawer contains nothing. This drawer contains nothing. So I have lots of space for anything that I need additional for my scrap room. I do really enjoy having the drawers next to me, and I feel like these items are the items that I reach for most. The bottom 4 cubes contain my thickers in white, black, and brown, which are the ones that I reach for the most. This bottom drawer contains my most popular used punches. As you can see, it has my border punches, as well as basic shapes like stars and hearts. And then, of course, my banner punches. The middle drawer contains my mats, my stitching mat, and my cutting mat. The top drawer has dividers, thanks to Nicole. She was the one that gave me the tip of using these poster boards to create dividers in my drawers. So now I have my envelopes stored here where I keep my pictures. This space is empty, and then I have fun foam on this side. I love this contact paper that I added to the top of my desk. It was very easy to put on, and you can't even see the seams unless you feel for it, which it is right there. This little wire rack I picked up at Walmart. The legs do fold down, so it makes it easy to transport to crops, and I will take this to crops, especially when I'm looking for additional space. But on my desk, I do use it on a regular basis, and I usually end up adding the paper underneath it and then all of the embellishments on top. These containers here I picked up from the Dollar Tree. The pink color is usually only available in the springtime. I have my washi tape, which I use on the back of my layouts, as well as my journaling dies. This container here has foam adhesive, my silhouette mat that I've cut down for using dickers, my stamping block that I don't actually use for stamping, I just use it for the weight, some twine, and some other adhesive. I have my scraps of fun foam, and then just the additional items that I need to scrapbook, to include my glue dots, my Xyron, of course my remote for my TV, my ATG gun, my glue press, and the stand for my phone. I got this mat from Amazon. It is 24 by 36, so it is 24 inches tall, 36 inches wide, which is perfect for double page layouts. These are my color boxes, and I mention them quite often in my videos. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, and I really like that I was able to find some of the boxes in colors. It makes it super easy to grab those when I am looking for a certain color. But if I do not have a color box that matches the colors inside, I do put a little enamel dot on the outside to indicate what color is inside. These are my gray enamel dots, and I have an enamel dot on this side. I did add them to both sides, so that way, regardless of which way I end up adding them to my shelf, I will be able to see what is inside. Underneath is just kind of a catch-all. I have some post-it notes that I use my punches to cut out little circles or stars to add to my photos if I need to cover up faces. This is my traveling sewing kit. Most of the time this stuff lives in my scrap box that's right next to me. However, every once in a while I will want to stitch in my room or in the living room, so I'll just throw everything that I need in here and it's all contained and I don't lose it when I'm out in the living room. And then I have a notepad there in case I need to write notes for my videos or anything else that I want to do that pertains to scrapbooking. This item here I picked up at IKEA. It holds my iPad. I have this Fat Max box that I picked up from Home Depot, and it is perfect for taking to crops. The bottom section right here does hold 12 by 12 paper, and there's compartments for everything. I really like having this. If you remember from my before video, this floor was completely covered with items all the way to my IKEA shelves, but now it is all free. I do keep my Big Shot there because it's easily accessible when I am trying to cut things out. And then I also have my phone stand. This is good when I'm trying to do live videos or when I'm video chatting with friends, especially Nicole and I need my phone for that, it makes it easy to not have to hold my phone while I'm video chatting. And I still do have this poster board in the back here that's wood grain that I take some photos on from time to time. The rest of my punches are stored in another shoe rack. These are my less frequently used punches. I also have my 4x6 grid paper that I use for journaling. If you remember, this shelf was also full of just random stuff, and now I have an empty shelf along with items that are more organized. The top shelf has more storage from the Dollar Tree. This has items that I need for recording. More enamel dots because I purchased a ton of them for the class that I taught and actually didn't end up needing all of them. They are duplicates from my color boxes. This box used to be empty and it's more of a decoration, but it now contains little tiny twinkle lights that I use when I create my glass blocks. I tend to do that for baby items. I've made a couple of them, but now it actually stores those lights. So not only is it a beautiful owl box, but it is purposeful as well. This little box we got at Epcot, and it has our names written in Japanese. So Eli and Lisa. And then my light. The second shelf contains my inks. I picked up this box at Joann's. It actually is 2, maybe even 3 actual pieces because I think it only comes with 2 containers, but it stores my inks and I love the storage in it. I did have a question on it recently on a video. I wasn't able to find the square one, but I was able to find a rectangular one, which is the same concept. My inks, an extra glue dispenser, and this really cool pottery piece that I actually painted. I feel like my IKEA shelves are so much more organized, as well as I have a ton of empty squares. These containers I picked up at the Dollar Tree. We do have a dollar plus section and I love them. These 2 are empty. I ended up buying 4 and only needed 2, but I put them in here just in case I decide I need to use them later. This box contains my memorabilia from 2024 from Disney. So I'm able to just throw items in this box when I come back from Disney. The top container is organized in bags by year for my Disney memorabilia. This first cube here has been reorganized for just Disney items. I actually moved all of my Disney paper. This thing used to be stuffed full, and this is more of embellishments, as well as my embellishment book specifically for Disney. And then my embellishment books got a major redo. They are all now labeled with the color. Super excited about that. I purchased 4 new boxes from Amazon, and these are heavy duty. The other ones were a lot less thick than these are, so I'm hoping that these hold up better than the other ones did. These 2 containers contain all of my Disney items. This box has all of my Simple Story Say Cheese, as well as the back contains my Echo Park Disney lines. This box contains everything else that's Disney related. I have some Echo Park collection here that are not really Disney, but I can use them for Disney. Like I have this pirate paper that I can obviously use for Pirates of the Caribbean. When I was going through my paper, I found this one that I could use for Buzz Lightyear. I have a mermaid collection. This one is Once Upon a Prince. And my Mary Poppins collection. And then further back is just some random Disney items that I've picked up over the years. Some Disney embellishments and things like that. I also added my Simple Stories cruise line that is Disney-ish. These 2 boxes contain boy collections. And yes, I will admit that I may have a problem with boy collections. This one is almost jammed full with collections. And then this one is not as full. I did pick up these containers from Hobby Lobby for $2.99. They are nice and thick material. They are like a hard plastic, and they will hold my larger collections. This particular one is Bella Boulevard's Carson collection. I'm able to put my photos in the front. The entire collection fits in there, as well as some ephemera pieces. And then I did label it with the company and collection. I do plan to purchase a few more of those and take some of these boy collections that are a little bit larger and add them to this shelf here. Now let's move on to these bookshelves. On the top here, I do have my battery charger for my camera. I did move it up. It was in a shelf below, and I do have an extension cord right below it. My threads for hand stitching. And then I have boxes of photos and more photos and more photos. I do now have an empty shelf. And then I have my albums that used to be in my closet, taking up so much space. Take up a lot less space here. And then down at the bottom, I have an extra trimmer. On the top shelf of the other bookcase is my thickers. With 31 going out of business, I did finally bite the bullet and purchase the bags that I really want. They are currently on their way to me, and I am super excited to finally get these really organized. I have another empty shelf, which I can tell you that empty shelves are my jam. This pink basket here holds my white scraps that I use for my dickers and tiny hearts and tiny stars. Below it I have my little tiny pieces that I'm going to use to make tiny stars and hearts, mainly Doodlebug Petite Prints and some wood grain. These three shelves here, I'm excited that two of them are empty. I have labeled them. So this top shelf here says it needs something. So that means it needs journaling or a date or something similar to that. The next shelf is not live on YouTube. So these are completely ready. They have all the journaling and date, but they haven't gone live on YouTube. So I keep them here in case I need to refer back to them, take pictures of them, or if there's a question about them. And then this shelf is ready for albums. So once they go live on YouTube, they're moved down here. And then once it gets probably about halfway full is when I tend to like to create those videos for you guys about putting away layouts and just chatting with you. And then the last shelf holds my bags that I use for my collections. In this shelf here, I have my ribbon as well as some extra pieces for stitching. So my Basil templates, some extra cards, extra black and white thread. And this bag I originally got is from Basil, and it has to do with stitching as well. I've had this a very long time. And then I also have this little mesh bag that holds my florals. I don't have a lot of them. The next shelf holds my card making materials, which I did get rid of a lot of it. I just have a few pieces left here and a couple of cards that I decided to keep. And then the back, I do have some card bases. I also have my crocodile here. This shelf contains a bag that has all kinds of other smaller embellishment pieces. This is another bag that I've had for quite a while, and it just has some brads in it. I did go through the brads in another clean out, and I only kept the fancy brads. I also have my googly eyes in here and some glitter brads, some florals. There's a little white flowers as well. This also holds my buttons, some rhinestones or gemstones, and these little guys as well. I probably should go through it and get rid of it since I probably won't be using it, but it's one of those things that I'm just not there yet. The next shelf holds my circle template for my large Creative Memory circle cutter. And then the top shelf holds my stamping pad, that book that I referred to back in the first video, which is an ultimate guide to titles. It really helps when I'm trying to find titles for a layout. I have some extra twine in here. These are DIY epoxies. So you just cut the circle out and then add the epoxy on top of it and make them glittery. And then my Creative Memories cutting system, including my smaller ones as well as my larger ones and the templates. And then this is an extra T-square roller. I was finally able to bring a Scentsy item into my room, and I did Monsters Inc. I love this warmer. It is super cute. It has Boo on the side as well. So this is the first time I've had a warmer in my scrapbook room because it's the first time I've actually had space. I didn't do a whole lot to this, but I did add Spike's ears up here at the top. And then this really didn't change either. I still have my computer on the top shelf here. These two spaces are empty now. And then my silhouette machine. And then the bottom is where I keep my friends' layouts until I can get albums or get them over to my friends. The closet made a huge transformation. There are so many changes to this closet, and I am super excited to share this with you guys. The top shelf on the left didn't get a big change. The albums are still here. However, I did put that 12 by 24 paper underneath these albums. Not ready to get rid of it yet, but this does allow for it to take up less space because it was just sitting by itself. Then this area had a major change. I brought in all of these boxes that I have a ton of, and they're actually being used to store stuff. The bottom one has my camera stuff in it. I have more of the photos that were originally over in my desk. My inks and sprays are in that wood grain box, and then I do have an empty one at the top there. This white box is a light for my studio lights, and then I have my extra ATG as well as those extra boxes that I may need for color boxes. I still have my Bind It All up there as well as my vinyl. The next shelf down I have my extra ATG. I do buy that in bulk. I finally got an album for the Close to My Heart sketchbook that I have. It is volume number 5. And I don't use this very often, but I do really enjoy this sketchbook. This was over in the bookshelf. It has my big blings as well as my smaller blings in it. And then this is the one that I think is at Joann's. It's that rectangle style, but it's only like this deep like the other one is. Here are all of my stamps. Most of these were on my desk before. My alphabet metal dies, the rest of my metal dies, my flip flaps. In this container is paint as well as some things like Mod Podge. Damp Rid, which I highly recommend if you live in the state of Florida. This container is another container that I picked up at the Dollar Tree in our Dollar Plus section, which I think it was $3. It has all of my memorabilia from different places. If you remember before, they were in these containers, which are a lot shallower. For these metal wire racks, I had a lot of containers in each one of them, and it was just taking up so much space. A lot of those items were moved over to the shoe rack that is behind my door. I did keep 3 of the containers. The first one holds my blades for my silhouette. This one holds my blades for my trimmer. And then this one is empty. I have extra fun foam here, as well as my stamp cleaner. And then this thing, again, not quite ready to get rid of it. It's used if you're using like glitter or things like that, you can put it there. And then once you're done, you use this hole to put it back in the bottle. But it fits nicely there. These are my page protectors as well as white cardstock in 8.5 by 11. I use these to put my ephemera pieces on so that they fit nicely in the bags that I use for my collections. And then this is a stand that will hold my phone when I am filming. I love these 2 shelves. Over here in the corner, I have that book there that contains sketches from class kits that I've taken from Scrapbook Generation, extra page protectors, my chipboard, and then all of my cardstock. These 3 boxes here were on the floor right there, and now they have their own home. This bottom box used to be a shipping box, and it has all of the school supplies and school papers and collections that I'm using to create Eli's school albums. The box above it is my Harry Potter collection, so it has all of the Echo Park Witches and Wizards collection that I'm using to create Eli's photos from his 11th birthday. And then this box here is a box that we throw memorabilia in from his year until the end of the year when I add it to his school album. I like the fact that it's on the top, so I can just have him come in here and throw items in. We just got his 8th grade photo, and he is so handsome. This container is more Disney ephemera pieces, but this is not contained to a certain year. It's just random things that I've picked up, and I have it over here in case I want to add it to my Disney albums. Some of these containers were underneath my Fat Max box over by my desk, and now they are here. It holds my 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I do pull this out every once in a while to back photos. These two middle ones contain collections that I have deemed for layouts for my friends. One for Christina and one for my friend Anna. And then over on the edge are collection kits that are classes from Scrapbook Generation. And this one's like the Boy Crazy kit. You get the idea with all of the pieces, and I haven't yet paired these with photos. So I have them there as a reminder that I need to pair them with photos and get them completed. And then this shelf contains all of my collections. I got rid of a ton of collections, and besides my boy collections and my Disney collections that are over on my IKEA shelf, this is all of the collections that I own. I labeled them all, and it makes it super easy to find them. Most of the collections are in these containers here, which I've learned are no longer available. I love these things. I haven't been able to find them online or at Hobby Lobby, and where I do find them, they are extremely expensive. I remember paying, I think, $6.99 for them, and they're well over $10. Some of them are $15 now. So I'm so glad that I have all of these. I also have more of those containers that I picked up at Hobby Lobby that are nice weight. I really like the thickness of this plastic. It holds a lot of pieces, and for those bigger collections where I have everything, it's just a nice fit. I also labeled all of them, and they sit next to the container that has the other collections. So like my school collection is here, but this Bella Boulevard collection is right next to it. The same for fall and Halloween. Right next to it I have Doodlebug Hey Pumpkin. And that is all the way down the shelf. And then on the floor, it did contain my Scentsy boxes. These have now been moved out to the garage, so I just have scrapbook space in here. And this is really just kind of some overflow stuff. In this pink bag, I have more bags. This is the bag that I use to transport my Big Shot. So if I'm going to crops, I throw my Big Shot in there. This is a file folder case that I got from Walmart, and it just has scraps in it. I only keep my scraps that are solid colors. And then these two pink boxes, which were over in my IKEA cube, just have extra storage stuff. So the extra boxes, and these are all of the extra small containers that I picked up at Dollar Tree that I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with, but I'm not quite ready to get rid of them. And then over in the corner are my yearbooks and the Who's Who of America. So one last look at my room. And this transformation has been a long month's journey, but absolutely worth it because I love everything about my room. I can't wait to start creating in my brand new room. Alright guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this 4-part series of the Great Scrapbook Room Reset of November 2024. I am so excited to start creating in my new room, and I can't wait to continue to bring double page layouts to you guys. If you enjoyed this video series, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.